Okay, so we are recording now. So today our goal is to really talk with you and help you understand some of the support and programs and services that we provide to help you make the most of your connection with the ALS Association. So we offer many.
Oh, sound disappeared.
Sherry, I accidentally muted you. My apologies.
There we are. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. So we offer a lot of different ways that we can support you and your family during the ALS journey. And so that's what we're going to cover today. All the people that registered will get an email this afternoon that will have some of this information. So don't worry if you don't catch it all. We're just trying to give you a good overview of the things that can be available. So first, about our ALS Association. We are the world's leading ALS organization. We fund global research, we provide on-the-ground care services, and we advocate for people that are living with ALS. So we are committed to making ALS livable for everyone, everywhere, until there is a cure. So these wonderful people that you see on your screen here are your ALS navigators or care service coordinators. They are the care services team that hopefully you are familiar with at least one of these individuals. They are absolutely your most important connection to the association and all the support and programs and services we offer. So I really want to stress, if you get nothing else out from today, know that these are the people that are your connection for support and for things that you need. So I want you to consider calling them, emailing them, text them. You can even work with them to schedule a Zoom call like this so you can have a face-to-face call with them. Whenever you have a question, or maybe you're experiencing a new challenge, or you're concerned about something, maybe you don't even know who you need to talk to, but something's going on and you just want to know if there's anything that can be done to help, or you just plain need support. That is absolutely what all these wonderful individuals are here to do for you. That is your care services team. And so, again, they are your most important connection to all that we do here at the ALS Association. If you were diagnosed in the last few to several months, when you registered with the association, you should have gotten a registration packet. And I'm going to kind of quickly go through some of the information that is in that packet, because normally you're pretty new to the diagnosis, new to the clinic. And so it's not like you're going to have sat and read through and gone through all of this from day one, but just to give you an idea of some of the things that are in there and some of the things that you can access through us. First of all, there are a few of our selected Living with ALS resource guides that you will get at the time you get registered with us. And these are educational guides that explain many different areas of the living with ALS. There is information on the Centers for Disease Control, National ALS Registry, and the National ALS Biorepository. Those were some of the subjects of our last month learning hour. But the biorepository is a place that can help, both of them help research. One is through registering and taking surveys, that's the registry. The biorepository collects biological materials, blood, urine, tissue, cells, and things like that can be used for future research, and they're maintained in that biorepository. And they're used to help scientists understand better things about ALS and use it for research. It's already been able to help with some of the genes that they have discovered with ALS. So, and it's possible to have some of that done in the home, and then there's other programs for for after that. So there's information there about our ALS Focus Survey program. That's a patient and caregiver-led survey that asks for people that are living with ALS currently, or their caregivers or past caregivers, to help us with information on understanding the needs and the challenges that they have, so that we can use that for advocacy to help address programming and things like that. So that's another important thing that's free and doesn't take a long time for you to do to help participate in those. There is another piece in there that talks about many of our free programs and services. Many of that's what we're covering today. That includes our quality of life grant that we've been offering for the past few years. That grant is subject to funding availability, and I do know that we are either at the end of our funding this year or very close to the end of our funding this year, and so may not be available again till the next fiscal year, which starts in February. There is information on our ALS Care Connection program, which I'll speak a little bit more of later, and about the ALS Medicare resource line. That's we partner with the Patient Advocate Foundation, and they provide free direct telephone access to talk about insurance and benefits. They're insurance and benefits experts that can help you when you're navigating eligibility and enrollment, whether that's in disability benefits, Medicare, or sometimes even other insurance, or help you with some of those financial burdens. As you know, we're in Medicare open enrollment period right now from the October 15th through December 7th. So that's a resource if you have some questions, along with some state level resources that your navigator or care service coordinator can help you with. There's information in there about ALS in the military, because we know that there is a higher propensity for people that have been in the military to get diagnosed with ALS. So it is recognized as a service-connected disability. And so that information also has some connections on how to get signed up for the VA benefits that you're entitled to. There's another couple of sheets that really talk about the importance of shared decisions. And that's really shared decision-making is when the patient, the caregiver, and your medical providers are working together to make the best healthcare decisions that are the best for that individual patient, considering, best evidence-based treatments, along with the patient's personal goals, their preferences, their values. All of those things are so important in the considerations of what treatments you want and what other things that you want in the process of your ALS. So there is information for caregivers, because we know when ALS is diagnosed, its impact is felt by everyone in the family. So you'll find information and resources in that handout to help support caregivers, and I'll go over a few more of those coming up. There's some information on general disaster preparedness, information just to help you plan ahead, whether it's an emergency room situation or a weather-related disaster that makes you leave the home or lose electricity or things like that. There's just some things in there to help you think ahead and be prepared. And that is actually the topic of our next learning hour on November 14th, which will cover a lot of helpful, even everyday kinds of things to be ready for some of the unexpected. So I hope you'll join us for that. There is a file of life card, which is a red packet, a magnetic red packet that has some of your key medical information. And you can fill that out and post that on the side of your refrigerator, which is where emergency services, if they're called to your home, that is a place that they would look for things like that. So, and then lastly on this slide, there's smart home program and virtual home modification and safety assessment, which Michelle will be talking about in much more detail in a few minutes. So we have a lot of different educational materials. They are available both in print and online. And these 11 to 12 resource guides that we have on various topics that deal with ALS are available in English and in Spanish, both in print and online. So we never suggest people start reading through every one of them at once. It's way too much information at once, but they're there to help you kind of understand different things about ALS and about adapting things to living with ALS. So those are available to you. We also have a guide for families in ALS, and that's really a helpful one for talking with children and youth and helping support them through the process. Along those lines, we also have this at school guide that can be given to counselors or teachers. So if you have children or grandchildren that are involved with you and might need some support at school, this is a really helpful guide for those professionals to understand more about what your child or grandchild might be going through. And then we also have the 3 guides at the bottom there are specific age related books for children and youth, starting from age 7 up to maybe age 25. And it kind of has everything about the whole process. I do always encourage, if that's something that you want, the first one is like 7 to 11, and it is in a kind of a comic format, but it does cover every topic of what the disease is, what's happening, and caregiving for somebody with ALS, as well as death and grief. So I always encourage, they're wonderful resources. They were very professionally developed with a child clinical social worker who works with a lot of this. And so I just recommend that the parents read through them first and use them how is appropriate for you and your family and how you deal with that. All of these guides are available through your navigator or your care service coordinator. But we also have this care service order portal where you are able to go in and order them yourself. So that's an option for you, or you can just contact your navigator or care service coordinator. It includes things like the file of life card that I talked about. And another one at the very bottom there is our key information card. That's a really helpful one because it has important considerations that might be needed in case of an emergency. And it's something that can fit in a wallet or a pocket or your glove box in your car. As you can see, it has even an alphabet board. It has information on communication needs. So it will explain you have ALS, you can understand, but give you time to respond if speech is an issue for you. And it also has some really helpful information about oxygen, CO2 retention, and a couple other critical things that that people would need to know if you're presenting to the ER with an emergency. Because doctors, other people in the emergency rooms, you know, they're not, ALS is rare enough, they're not used to always seeing ALS, and they see low oxygen, they will probably want to put oxygen on you, and that may be counterindicated depending on where you are in your disease. So it's really helpful information to have. And then as you can see, that female caregiver and restroom, we have one for female, one for male, and it has a magnet on it. So if you are out and need to use a different restroom or whatever because you're assisting your loved one, that's a sign that you could have with you and put on the door to help. This was a brand new tool that was just announced and started in May of this year. It is an online tool, My ALS Journey. So it's an interactive web-based tool. So it will allow you to browse articles, videos, all kinds of information, no matter what stage or whatever decision you're trying to make. Anybody can get on there and browse the articles and the information that's there. But you, as a person living with ALS, can register yourself. No one else sees that information. It just allows you to personalize your journey by putting in answering some questions and putting some details about where you are in your journey with ALS. And then that will automatically have you directed to the articles or the videos or action items that will be the most helpful for you at the point that you are in your disease, and will can give you the most appropriate things to be learning about that are time sensitive to where you are, and provide some of the information about interventions that are available to help you live stronger and better with ALS. So I encourage you to check that out, and that link will be in the email that we send as well. Another really beneficial thing that we like to see people take advantage of is our support groups. So as you can see, we have several different support groups that occur every month. We have several that are for clients that are different times. So you can find one that works for you, and caregivers are welcome to join those. We also have some separate ones for caregivers, and gives you an opportunity to share and get support for the caregiving journey, which we know is intense. We have a new one that started just this month, is nationwide. We have an opportunity for people, if they want to, for women caregivers to meet with other women caregivers. And then another kind of unique is for men caregivers to meet with other men caregivers. While so much is the same when you're caregiving for somebody you love, the approaches and the experiences might feel very different. And so that's just another opportunity for you to get support. All of the support groups are focused on supporting individuals living with ALS and their families, try to offer a safe place where you can get information that's practical, that's constructive and helpful for you. It can address the unique challenges of this disease. I've had a few people that have gone to, another caregiver group, perhaps at their church or community have, which is wonderful. But I also know that it is different to care for somebody who's living with ALS. We do try to address things that help enhance quality of life for both of you. And it's an opportunity to join together with other people who are dealing with these similar difficult circumstances. And lastly, on the far right, the bereavement group, that's offered 2 to 3 times a year. It is a 6-week program that is just for people who have cared for somebody with ALS and has lost that person to ALS. So again, there is just some different things as you're coming through that journey. And so we wanted to provide that additional support. We do have support for caregivers. I mentioned that earlier, that there's some information in the registration packet. This information is all available online on our website, and there'll be a link to that on the email. So different kinds of caregiver resources, information about practicing self-care, some videos and information from one caregiver to another, caregiving tips and hints. The 2 things I wanted to highlight on here is that we do have, I think it's like a 11 session course that's a caregiver education course. That was really designed to help train home care companies and have their caregivers really understand more about ALS. But it is a free course that's available to anyone to enroll in. So if you're a caregiver for someone with ALS and you want to learn more about safe ways to do things and how to help that person with ALS, it's available for you to take. If you are hiring home care, or you even have hospice people coming into the home that don't know a lot about ALS, that is just one avenue for helping them to understand and know better how to care for somebody with ALS. As far as home care agencies and hospice companies in particular, if you are dealing with one who has not worked with ALS, that's something else you can let your navigator or care service coordinator know, and we can help provide them some information about that to try to help. So, and then there's ALS Care Connection that I mentioned earlier. That's a private online calendar that can be used to support the entire family. So how often do we have people that, you know, if you have a good community of friends or family, church members or whatever, and they say, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? And most of the time when that gets asked, one, people feel strange about asking for their help. But secondly, even if you're willing to accept their help in that moment, you often don't think of what is it that you might need. So this is a way to have that set up in advance. The best way that program works is when you have another family member or friend who will take control of setting that up and managing that. So that's not something that you have to worry about as the primary caregiver, but allows you to put things in there, whether it's, you know, we need a meal on this night, or I have a kid that needs to get somewhere on this night, or, you know, we have something that needs to happen in the lawn, or help with dog walking, or any of those kinds of things that tend to fall through the cracks when you're dealing with living with ALS and caring for someone with ALS. So, so that is the last part of what I want to cover for the moment. And I want to go ahead and turn it over to Michelle so she can tell us about those other exciting new programs she's been working with.
Thanks, Sherry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed one more slide. I thought I was there. The last thing I was going to cover here is the learning hours, as such as what you're watching right now. This is our second one. We are offering these monthly. They will normally be the third Tuesday of the month, but with the holidays in November and December, they will be the second Tuesday. So November 14th and December 14th. And as I said, next month, Michelle is actually going to be presenting on the emergency preparedness, helping you be prepared and expecting the unexpected. And then in December, we will be presenting on embracing life's moments, looking at ways to navigate celebrations, traditions, and family events during the ALS journey. And then on the other side of the slide, we also have care service webinars that happen monthly. And those you can find and watch previous ones anytime you want. You can register for the ones as they come up. This month is on Monday, October 30th, and it is all about open enrollment and insurance options for people with ALS. So thank you. And now over to you, Michelle.
Hey, Sherry. So I just caught this as this was up. That slide was up. So December 14th is a Thursday. Is the December one on a Thursday, or is it on the 12th?
Nope, it's on the 12th.
Okay.
My Thank you.
No problem. And sorry to just now bring that up. But speaking of that, you guys, anybody out there that's making furious notes, I believe that Sherry is making these slides available to you afterwards. So if you, is that correct, Sherry?
Well, there's an email that'll cover
an email that's going to come out
and have some links in it for you.
So no need to panic. If you have seen something of interest and it's come and gone, you'll have that information, and your care services people that we talked about at the beginning know about all of these programs. And so if you have questions, they're going to connect you with what you need to know. But yes, hi, I am going to visit with you guys about a couple of exciting programs that I get to help be a part of here in the ALS Association. And this first one is a pretty new program we just introduced in May this last year. We're calling it our Smart Home program. We could call it our Home Automation program. But this program lets us provide to you some devices that can let you do some things around your house in an alternative way. You see pictures there of outlets, light bulbs, and a mysterious box that I will talk about in a little bit. But the reason that we wanted to offer this new smart home program is that there are so many benefits, and this technology is pretty accessible these days, and so it's affordable to help provide. They can help you be safer in your home. You might be able to avoid some unsafe transfers, have improved lighting in your space, manage when your home can be entered and when it can't, maybe make phone calls without needing to be having a phone in your hands. It can help you be more comfortable and independent in your home, controlling temperature with a fan or controlling lighting, having some say so over the sounds that you hear. And it can also just help with accessing things like music and television and audiobooks and shopping if that is recreation for you. Um, People that want to access this program generally need to have to supply their own home internet or Wi-Fi. Although if you don't have the ability to do that, you're not automatically disqualified. There are some resources that we may be able to connect you with for that as well. And also have access to a smartphone or tablet. And if you are not a tech savvy person, maybe an installer or a setup person identified. The ALS Association, we can supply a conversation with you about the items that we offer, what people might do with those things, what might be a good fit for you, and help develop a custom kit of items that are right for you. We can provide really comprehensive setup instructions, information about other items that you might want to purchase that would work with the system that are outside of our program. And we can refer to other resources if needed as well. So, if Wi-Fi in the home is absolutely not an option, we can help find a way around that, even if it's not through our program. And so this is just a little bit of a demonstration, some visuals of how this works. So with a smart home program, you can use that first thing at the in the top of the oval is a smart speaker. It's an Alexa speaker, and below that is just a picture of a smartphone, but you can also use a tablet. You can use your voice, or you can use your fingers to touch icons in an app, and potentially control things like the lock at the front of at your front door, lights in your home, your television, and anything that you could plug into a wall outlet like a fan. So that was our smart home program. This next program I want to talk about has been around just a little bit longer, but is very, very exciting to be a part of as well. This is called a Virtual Home Safety and Modification Assessment Program, which is a lot of words to say. That this is a chance for someone who is qualified and knowledgeable to do a virtual visit to you in your home, and look around at some key points of interest and share with you information about what your options are for your home to become and or remain accessible and safe for you and your family members. And can talk with you about what kinds of things you might be needing now to meet your needs, and also talk about what you might need in the future, just really allowing you to make informed decisions about how you want to use your resources. We always address areas of entering and exiting your home, the bathroom, and just safe transfers and access in general in the house. Might, depending on what's important to you, also talk about moving between rooms, safety in the kitchen, setting up your bedroom, transfers, smart home technology, emergency preparedness. There's a lot of topics that can be covered depending on what's important to you. And then just really wanted to give a visual. On the left-hand side, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures of different types of ramps. So this could be part of a discussion is what are my choices? How am I going to get in and out of my house if I'm walking? How am I going to do that if I'm using a wheelchair? What's affordable? What is available? On the right-hand side, there's lots of different ways that a person might access a shower or a bathtub, from a simple chair to a bench, a rolling chair. At the bottom right-hand side, that's a specialized transfer system for getting in and out of a tub or shower. And then the picture kind of in the middle shows a fully remodeled bathroom with a big shower in it that has no barriers to access. And so really, just have conversations with you about things you might be wondering, like what sorts of equipment will work or fit in my home? What might I be needing in the future as changes occur? What's going to help me be safe? What's going to help my caregiver safe? Do I need to remodel? Can I adapt my space now? Do I need to think about moving? Certainly, no one's telling you what the right answers are, but we can provide information so that you can make good decisions. We have, for a very long time, had an equipment lending program, and you might hear that referred to as the lending closet. So we keep a selection of pieces of equipment that are frequently used by people living with ALS. We recognize that there are some items that you will likely need at some point that may not be covered by insurance, or that you might have to wait a period of time before your insurance will pay for it, but you might need it immediately. So we maintain these items in a lending closet of sorts for people to borrow with no cost incurred. They're supported that we can provide that because we receive donations, both of very gently used equipment, as well as financial donations to help support this. We partner with local durable medical equipment vendors who are very helpful to help us. They help us with cleaning, storing, repairing items as needed. Some pieces of equipment may require a recommendation from your physician, OT, PT, or speech therapist, because there may be some safety things to weigh, some questions that need to be answered, and some advice from those specialists to determine what is appropriate and safe for you. Sometimes what's available varies, and sometimes if a piece of equipment is large or heavy, we may be able to help arrange delivery of those items for you. And who can use the lending closet? Well, anybody can use the lending closet, but we definitely want to first explore insurance, because your insurance will pay for a piece of equipment that is definitely the right piece of equipment for you, whereas something from the lending closet is a little bit dependent on what happens to be available in the moment. It can be used while you're waiting for your insurance to agree to pay for a piece of equipment, and after other potential resources have been explored and exhausted, which your care services staff can also help you do. We also keep some smaller items. These are not lending items. These are items that we can provide to you. You might see some familiar things on the left there, and they might look very unfamiliar to you, but there are a host. These are just examples of small items that can be helpful with everyday tasks if you are having motor difficulties. And most of these are if you're having difficulty using your hands. Just looking on at the pictures, there are cups that don't spill very easily, items that can help with two-handed tasks that can be difficult, like buttoning buttons or tying shoes, things that can just help you have a little more power, and if your dexterity is challenged, so things that might help you use your keys, hold a fork or spoon, or drink from a cup without having to lift a cup if you're having difficulty with lifting heavier items or spilling. So again, your care services staff can help you explore what we have available. And if we happen to have some of the items that would be useful to you, we can have those delivered directly to you.
You, Michelle. Just wanted to add in here a quote from somebody living with ALS. And she's Gail. She says, "The ALS Association has given me so much: resources, support, connection, hope for others in the future. All these things help me to approach every challenge as a new beginning, something to overcome, to manage. And I make sure to take time to celebrate all the victories over what I can control." We really want to partner with you to help provide support and resources and these kinds of things that can help you live a quality life with ALS, and continue to be as independent as you possibly can. Gail also says, I included at the bottom here, "I encourage everyone, drink the wine and eat the cake and do all you can today." And I think that is excellent advice for all of us. So some additional ways to stay connected with the ALS and the things that we do and new programs that might be coming out is first and foremost, again, is your ALS navigator or your care service coordinator. So keep their contact information in your phone or wherever is most handy for you, because they are here to support you and your loved ones, and they are your key connection for support and for accessing all the different programs and services and connecting to other resources. They may not be resources that we offer, but we do partner and are familiar with other organizations. And so if it's not something that we provide, we might know of another organization that we can refer you to that can help with that. You should be receiving our quarterly local connections newsletter, unless you've opted out of that type of email. That's another way to keep informed about what's going on with the association and program services, as well as advocacy and research. And then the next couple of things are our newsletters that are monthly to quarterly, and each newsletter covers different topics. So we have Care Matters, which, as you can imagine, is everything to do with caring for somebody with ALS. And then we have an Advocacy Matters monthly newsletter and a Research Matters. So those are two great places to keep up to date and informed on both what's happening with advocacy and research in the ALS world, and also ways that you can participate in some of those things to help others, both with advocating nationally or state level. Now we're really getting active in state levels as well, and with research. So, and then we have a Connecting with ALS podcast that you can listen to, as well as you can sign up for ALS weekly blogs. So all the information about how to sign up for those additional resources will be in the email that I'll send out to you guys this afternoon. So mostly, we just really want you guys to know that we are here for you. If you heard something in today's presentation that you weren't familiar with, but you think it could be something that could help you, please reach out to your navigator or your care service coordinator, and just know that that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys. So I am going